Hey, pay attention.
Focus!
You're being lazy.
Quit causing trouble!
How could you forget that?
Don't cut me off.
Man, you're so disruptive.
Go stand by the wall.
I hear this stuff a million times a day. Nobody loves me. I must be the worst kid ever. And why standing by the wall supposed to be a punishment anyway? Welcome to the ADHD Club. Ain't nothing wrong with you, we just think different. Our brains are wired a bit differently than the norm. Don't let all those negative vibes get to ya. What negative vibes? Sorry, I spaced out.
Did you know? A 10-year-old ADHD kid hears about 20,000 more negative messages than their non-ADHD peers. All that constant criticism can mess with your head, make you scared of trying new stuff, and mess with your self-esteem.
You know, Ollie, back in my day, I had the same worries as you, only worse. Nobody knew what was up with me, and I got stuck with the wrong meds for years. Docs blamed it on women's stuff. Took forever to get diagnosed with ADHD, and even then, getting meds back home was a whole ordeal.
Ollie, the silver lining is you got diagnosed early. We know how to handle this now. Me, I was stumbling around in the dark till I got diagnosed at 25. Changed my whole life.
Stick around, folks. We're about to unwrap the gift of ADHD.
Understanding ADHD is crucial for effectively managing how to deal with it. Whether you have ADHD yourself, your child does, or you know someone who does. When managed properly, ADHD can cultivate creativity and problem-solving abilities. We don't just think outside the box, we don't even know where the box is. When you ask people to draw an alien, most of them will sketch something with 2 arms, 2 legs, 2 eyes, and a body shape resembling a human. Many folks use traditional references when creating something new, but for those with ADHD, our brains don't link aliens to humans as a reference point. So, our sketches might look like something entirely different, like these examples. Talent and creativity are gifts that can take years to develop, but they can't be acquired if you don't have them inherently. ADHD acts as an artery feeding creativity and talent with a constant flow of ideas. However, the congestion of these ideas can make them half-baked and difficult to utilize. Learning how to manage ADHD is like removing kryptonite from Superman. It unlocks our superpowers. But it comes with a cost. We may struggle with impulsivity and immature decisions. That's where proper management, like having brakes for our Ferrari-like minds, becomes essential.
Dr. Edward Hallowell said, "A person with ADHD has the power of a Ferrari engine, but with bicycle-strength brakes. It's the mismatch of engine power to braking capability that causes the problems. Strengthening one's brakes is the name of the game."
When I was 25, I got diagnosed with ADHD predominantly impulsive. Looking back, I realize now that I've had it since I was a kid. But I never knew how to put it into words. I thought the constant noise in my head was normal, and I assumed everyone got distracted by little things like the drip, drip of a faucet or the color of leaves rustling in the wind. My symptoms were different from what most people think of as ADHD. I wasn't hyperactive at all. In fact, I was the smartest kid in my class all the way through high school, always getting top marks and coming up with creative solutions to tough problems. My teachers saw potential in me like a diamond in the rough. Didn't need to crack the books much because I soaked up knowledge faster than a sponge in a rainstorm with just a few sentences, and I tuned out everything else.
ADHD isn't a one-size-fits-all condition, despite the common stereotype of someone bouncing off the walls. According to the DSM-5, symptoms vary widely. First, there's attention deficit, struggling to focus, making careless mistakes, and forgetting tasks. Then there's the hyperactive group, always on the move, fidgeting and talking nonstop. Lastly, impulsivity, blurting out answers, jumping into conversations, and rash decisions. Having a few of these traits doesn't necessarily mean you have ADHD. It's essential to seek professional help for an accurate diagnosis. Healthcare providers can examine your family history, medical records, and run tests to understand your situation better. If you suspect ADHD, don't hesitate to reach out for professional assistance.
Despite my efforts to blend in, hiding behind different masks in various settings, school, work, family gatherings, hanging out with friends, people could tell the difference. Then, I faced a harsh reality check in the medical school. While I excelled in assignments, but I struggled with deadlines and dense textbooks. Rather than getting bogged down in the nitty-gritty, I grasped the main idea and explained it in my own way. But in the medical world, that approach didn't fly. I felt like a fish out of water, drained from constantly wearing masks to fit in. I knew something wasn't right. My mind buzzed with ideas, yet I couldn't focus on one. Anxiety meds didn't ease my turmoil. I found myself making rash decisions, which was risky as a future doctor. Though med school was my dream, I dropped it out. Talk about impulsive decisions. That was one of them. I could ask for help instead.
Driving a Ferrari with subpar brakes. Easy at slow speeds, right? That's how some folks with ADHD slip under the radar as kids. But throw us into new challenges or pile on responsibilities, and it's like flooring the gas in that Ferrari with bicycle brakes. Our minds churn out ideas faster than average. But here's the catch. If we learn to harness it, we're sitting on a gold mine of creativity and innovation. Our concept of time? More like now or later, no fancy seconds or minutes. That's why we excel under pressure, but long-term deadlines? Forget it. Procrastination? Just our brains fooling us. Give us a nudge with a reminder and a bit of planning, and watch us zip through tasks. Skipping your dream school? Not always the best move. Seeking accommodations or studying strategies could have made a world of difference. Criticism? We're no strangers to it. All we crave is acceptance, but instead, we wear masks to fit in. It's exhausting, leaving us questioning our identity. Self-doubt, blame, even harm. Been there, but asking for help. That's the real challenge. We're quick to aid others, but seeking assistance ourselves. That's a tough pill to swallow.
I've dabbled in a bunch of different jobs, but none seemed to click, always hopping from one thing to the next. The routine got stale fast. People kept pointing out my careless mistakes, but I couldn't seem to straighten up. I was on a quest to find myself and my purpose in life, with a whirlwind of thoughts in my head, but no clear direction. The negativity started creeping in, and sadly, I considered hitting the reset button on my life. Those were the dark thoughts I grappled with, the inner dialogue is slowly convincing myself that maybe calling it quits was the answer.
Repetitive tasks might seem like a break, but for ADHD, it's anything but. Our brains resist boredom by churning out a flood of thoughts, some not so bright. Imagine knowing your potential but feeling stuck. It's a recipe for emotional turmoil, possibly leading to thoughts of addiction or suicide. ADHD folks are 10 times more likely to battle addiction and 3 times more to be arrested. Living with ADHD means constantly feeling society's pressure, rejection, trying to fit into a fast-paced world. It can drive you to seek solitude or form unhealthy relationships. Walking a tightrope between isolation and questionable company. Why do you think some top successful actors face addiction, commit violence, or suicide? ADHD can crank up anxiety to the max, leading to health issues like heart problems, hypertension, or diabetes, and depression. While smoking can shorten life expectancy by 2 to 6 years, ADHD can shorten it by 13 to 21 years, deserves awareness.
There I was, pondering what I truly enjoyed and excelled at. It hit me. I thrived on explaining things, lending a hand, and finding fun ways to study. Plus, I could talk your ear off if you let me. But beyond that, I had this instinct for picking up on people's vibes, sensing their needs without them saying a word. It was like I had a sixth sense for empathy. So, I thought, why not become a teacher? It seemed like a perfect fit. Admittedly, studying wasn't my forte, but I swallowed my pride and sought help. There's no shame in that. Then came the diagnosis, ADHD. Suddenly, everything clicked. Getting the right treatment was a game changer. It was like hitting pause on my brain's chaos. Instead of ideas flying everywhere, I could corral them, sort them out, and turn them into something productive. Finally, I could relax without that constant worry about tomorrow. It was like finding peace in the midst of a storm. Creativity thrives on curiosity. And you can't be creative if you aren't impulsive. Especially with ADHD. Our brains are like firecrackers, constantly exploring and questioning. Despite the unknowns ahead, we find excitement in endless possibilities. With the right support like medications, therapy, and brain coaching, I've transformed and excelled in my career, thanks to a university that understood and supported me. Now, I'm committed to empowering my own students, just like my alma mater did for me.
5% of Americans diagnosed with ADHD. 12% of 7 to 14 years old children. This percentage exclude ADHD patients who seem like they are doing well, which are a lot like Dan. True number around 30%.
You're not alone!
Many successful individuals have openly shared their experiences with ADHD, helping to break down stigma and inspire others who may be facing similar challenges. It's empowering to see how these public figures have embraced their ADHD and used it as a source of strength and resilience in their lives and careers.
Michael Phelps, the most decorated athlete in Olympic history, 28 Olympic medal.
Simone Biles, the most decorated American gymnast of all time. Michael Jordan, Will Smith, Justin Timberlake.
David Neeleman, the founder of JetBlue Airways.
Richard Branson, the founder of Virgin Group.
Bill Gates and Sir Winston Churchill.
These extraordinary individuals exemplify that ADHD can be a catalyst for incredible talent, creativity, and success across a spectrum of endeavors. It's imperative to acknowledge that ADHD doesn't thwart one's abilities or potential. Rather, when managed effectively, it can fuel a unique path to unparalleled achievement and greatness.
Do you want to know how to manage ADHD? Next episode, we'll cover strategies for handling ADHD, including treatment options, lifestyle adjustments, and parenting advice. Make sure to subscribe to receive notifications. Thank you for watching. I'm Ollie, and that's my family Dan, B, Sky, and Ted. If you like our family, please like and share and keep it tight-knit.